Hey guys, Ken here from the Retro Toy Escapades channel in Malaysia. Join me today as we venture into the catacombs of Third Earth and into the tomb of Mumm-Ra, the ever-living. This is of course the new Super 7 Thundercats Ultimates Wave 6 Mumm-Ra, which is based off his classic 80s action figure from LJN Toys. As you can see, he is freaking ginormous. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I knew that he was going to be huge, but you know that there's huge and then there's just ultra massive. So guys, stick around as I get into the video, the full video review for Mumm-Ra. Guys, if you enjoy content like this, I hope you consider supporting the channel by joining up as a member, or you can also consider donating to the production cost of the video by using the Super Thanks feature that YouTube has now enabled for the channel. Thank you so much. The support really does help me in continuing to create and provide content like this. Okay, getting back to what I was saying, Mumm-Ra is so huge that he completely dwarfs Lion-O. I mean, check out the gap in sizes here. Lion-O isn't anywhere even near Mumm-Ra's neck. How's he gonna take him down? Use his paws to try and reach him? In one of my earlier videos, I talked about how the green skin tone they use for Mumm-Ra just isn't accurate to the light blue color of his original 80s action figure. The green makes him look like he's hulking out. Mumm-Ra smash! Okay, here's a comparison shot with the original 1985 Mumm-Ra figure from LJN Toys. Now, what I found pretty surprising is that the original 80s toy was only slightly taller than the rest of the Thundercats at the time. But this time around, they went ahead and made Mumm-Ra skyscraper-sized. I've seen some comments that some of you guys are not really happy with the face sculpt. Well, this is exactly what it's advertised to be, an updated version of the 80s toy face sculpt. And in that sense, I'd say that they pulled it off. But it's important to note that neither version, either the present day version or the one from the 80s, looks anything like the way Mumm-Ra looked like on the cartoon. But back in the 80s, that was normal, Now, the snake headdress is pretty annoying because it doesn't sit well on his head. Not at all right? And it could just be the unit that I have, but I don't think so, okay? It's also made out of really cheap plastic, which for an expensive toy like this is bullshit. I mean, I'm not kidding, okay? I was expecting the snake headdress to be a real premium piece, but it's like the cheapest part of this whole set. Now, the strands all around it are made out of the kind of thin but stiff plastic that feels like it can and will crack very easily. So be careful when you're handling it, all right? Now, it's the same material that's used on the red and black bandages that flow all across the front and back of Mumm-Ra's body. Okay, so just leave all of these things in place. Don't mess with them. Don't touch them. Everything should be just fine. Maybe. Now, the head does turn smoothly from side to side, but I was kind of expecting it to also be able to look up and down. It doesn't really. It's supposed to be a ball joint though, but it probably doesn't work the way they expect it to. So, if you were to just pop this thing off, just look at the size of the ball joint that's underneath there. Look at how tiny this thing is, okay? What kind of range of motion are you expecting to get out of this, all right? So that's kind of a disappointment. Now, this is a big, heavy figure, okay? You feel it instantly when you pick it up or you handle it. Never mind the fact that I said that the snake headdress was cheap. It is cheap, but the rest of the figure feels pretty expensive, all right? Now, everything feels pretty tight, okay? The joint here in the chest works great, okay? You can rock him from, forward to backward like this. And none of the bandages or any of those things in the middle there kind of like get in the way of that. So that's great, okay? The articulation is not hindered by any of these things. Now, the shoulders are on ball joints, so technically these should work great, okay? But I'm being hindered by this section here at the top here. The way that the plastic was cut on the action figure is just hindering the progress of me being able to raise up his biceps accordingly. I'm just going to have to find a different way to do it. But I don't know why that was a manufacturing decision to not be able to just rotate the ball joint straight upwards like that. I mean, I don't know what's going on, right? Now, when I worked my way down to his loincloth area, at first I kind of felt that the loincloth was like a little bit too short. But then again, okay, this is the first time that we're getting like an entirely separate piece for the loincloth. Previously, the 1985 LJN Toys version that was just sculpted or just painted onto his entire lower area. But now we're getting it as a separate piece, and it's made out of the flexible material that allows you to be able to pose his thighs at the same time, as you can see. So, the movement of his thighs or the ball joints is not hindered by the fact that you have this separate loincloth area in the front there. And I think that's great, okay, especially since the loincloth is made out of cloth, okay, they're using some kind of flexible PVC material, but it still works great. It looks good. So I kind of feel that, if it was just a little bit longer, then it may have hindered the movement of the thighs. So that's probably why it looks a little bit short. The one thing about this figure, okay, first of all, when I'm looking at it, it's like a really tall figure. You know, I start getting flashbacks, okay, of how nightmarish it was to own those NECA Predators from back in the day, because those were like really tall figures that would just topple over, okay. And the reason for that is that the ankle joints were really weak. Okay, no such thing here though. The ankle joints on this figure are solid, all right? Okay, accessories check. In addition to his gripping hands, Mumm-Ra gets a spare set of closed fist hands. Very useful, and you definitely need this for some mutant fist pounding action. You also get the open claw hands, which a creepy looking figure like him absolutely requires. You know, it's practically mandatory for a scary mummy monster guy like him to have claw hands reaching for you. Now you get the small curved dagger, which is a really nice replica of the vintage one. Unlike the quality of the blade on the Sword of Omens from my Lionel review, which was soft and flexible, this one is actually really sturdy. Similarly as well with his black bladed long sword, which is also replicated from Mumm-Ra's classic accessory. This is made of very sturdy hard plastic and it feels really high quality. Why couldn't the snake headdress be made of the same material as well? Mumm-Ra also gets an alternate head with a different angry expression. This time, instead of the open mouth, he gets the clenched teeth look. And I really do like this sculpt. It's actually a relief that both head sculpts look fantastic. And here's the thing. The headdress fits perfectly on this alternate head. Okay, not the vintage head, but this head. Now, I'm happy to see this, but at the same time, it's mind-numbingly frustrating. Because why couldn't the headdress just fit well on both of the heads? Okay, just to give you an example of how well this thing stays on, I'm going to suspend the figure upside down like this. You see this? The headdress just stays on. Okay, this is what you want to see. This should be an essential quality control procedure to make sure that all kinds of headgear stay on the figure. Okay, just suspend the figures upside down, just like this. Okay, my honest take on this figure, similar to the Lionel figure that I reviewed earlier, I feel that for an Ultimates package, he comes with a lot less than what you would expect. Okay, a lot less accessories, a lot less options. But having said that, he's still a fantastic upgrade of the vintage figure. And you know what? When you see him being posed like this in these dynamic combat positions, man, you know, it just makes up for almost everything, you know what I mean? And if you just leave him on a shelf just like that, I think you're going to be very happy, because this is a Mumm-Ra figure that replicates the design of the classic figure you had, but is now able to be posed in ways that you never could before. So look, if you're a Thundercats fan, I don't think you need me to tell you whether or not to grab this figure. You probably would have already, okay? In fact, I think that if you haven't pre-ordered him, he might be pretty hard to come by later. I'm not sure. You're going to have to check with your local hobby store. Anyway, guys, I want to hear your thoughts on the new classic Wave 6 Mumm-Ra figure from Super 7. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And I'll catch you guys again real soon right here with more content. Thank you and take care out there.